local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, I'm Breana Albizu.
I'm Alan Devlin. We've received a video of a DeKalb County police officer brutally attacking a woman after he claims she would not follow orders and assaulted him.
Channel 2 Action News intern Maddy Bierster spoke to the husband of the woman.
As you can see, this case has gotten a lot of attention as you see the protesters behind me. We spoke to husband of Katie McCrary, the woman beat at this Chevron on Glenwood Road. He believes this is a perfect example of police brutality. We spoke to Antoine McCrary, who was so shocked over the video of his wife Katie getting hit by a baton by a DeKalb County police officer that he could no longer watch the video. Officer P.J. Lashai said this all began when McCrary refused to follow orders and later assaulted him. The officer was released at first, but after this video surfaced on the internet, the case was reopened.
He greatly overreacted. I mean, first off, he's a male beating on a woman. A woman does not have enough strength to fight off a male. As you've seen in the video, she was not technically fighting. She was trying to block the hits from the baton.
We spoke to the PIO at the DeKalb County Sheriff Headquarters about the steps they're taking to investigate what happened at this Chevron that these civil rights organizations are now protesting at.
Right now, we are reviewing the statement. We are taking a look at the officer's initial report for use of force.
Antoine says his wife is okay physically, but that this has changed her admiration of law enforcement. McCrary is still currently in jail on an unrelated charge of prostitution, while the officer is currently on restricted duty pending this investigation into just what happened here. In DeKalb County, this is Maddy Bierster, Channel 2 Action News.
More sexual assault victims are getting justice after the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has identified 88 suspects in a backlog of cases. The GBI started testing the backlog last year after Governor Deal signed a law requiring testing. Investigators say they have tested nearly 1,000 kits and still have 2,000 left to test. They expect to have 95% of the kits tested by June 2019. Police say a man sleeping in his SUV led them on a chase involving 3 police departments. An Alpharetta officer approached John Ackland's SUV on Pine High Drive last week. The officer noticed Ackland had syringes and a baggie with something inside. They say Ackland started fumbling in his car. The officer then broke his car window. That's when police say Ackland took off. The chase ended at Taylor Road.
I was really nervous since I was home alone, and I just, I was hoping they'd catch up.
Ackland faces charges including fleeing and eluding police, reckless driving, and drug possession.
The Fulton County Board of Commissioners passed a resolution last week to address the increasing number of opiate-related deaths in the county. Channel 2 Action News investigative intern Maureen Sheeran looked into a new way for teens to get help with addiction.
Part of Fulton's plan is to introduce an anonymous text line that can connect someone in crisis to a licensed professional.
And if there's somebody on the other end of that line that is willing to help them, then yeah, it can make all the difference in the world.
Patton Slay, who is in recovery from an opioid addiction, says that any line of communication can make all the difference.
I was looking for somebody to understand.
Jill Pickett Laws and David Laws lost their daughter, Laura Hope Laws, to a drug overdose 4 years ago.
But there was such a stigma for her in her high school, and being a teenager is not easy, and it was tough for her to have this addiction.
They say that the anonymous text line is a step in the right direction for Fulton County. Fulton County Commissioner Bob Ellis, the author of the resolution, says that the crisis line is an effort to prevent addictions from even starting.
And oftentimes without that sort of mechanism, what they maybe turn into is an escape mechanism, which is likely a drug or drug, alcohol, or other sort of resources.
Laura battled her addiction for years before she died in November 2013.
I think it could help a lot of people, absolutely, especially the young people.
The program will be modeled off of an Illinois system that is being used in over 100 schools. The estimated startup cost is $30,000.
One of the hardest things to do when you're wrapped up in drug addiction is to reach out for help.
Ellis also says that this program is a response to Fulton's shortage of behavioral health resources available for teens. Here in Fulton County, I'm Maureen Sheeran, Channel 2 Action News.
City leaders in Decatur will vote on a proposal that would raise their pay by 150% next month. Last week, city leaders passed a tentative ordinance to increase the Decatur mayor's salary from $6,000 a year to $15,000. Commissioners would also get a raise from $4,800 to $12,000 a year. The salaries were set more than 20 years ago. If passed, the raises would take effect next year.
Attorneys for the man at the center of a murder investigation are taking new steps in his defense. Tex McIver's lawyers filed a motion in Fulton County Court Friday to suppress evidence. That includes the results of the searches at his homes and storage units. McIver's attorney also wants the use of the word murder to be banned. Police say McIver shot and killed his wife Diane inside their SUV last September. McIver claims the shooting was an accident. Police say a man they stopped on Georgia 400 admitted he was speeding to impress his friends on Snapchat. Alpharetta police stopped Marlon Neal Tuesday night. They say he was going 112 miles per hour in a 65. Neal told officers he was trying to do Snapchat. He is charged with reckless driving, speeding, and using his cell phone while driving.
Residents want to turn the old Atlanta prison farm into a park. But first, they say it needs a good cleaning after years of dumping. Channel 2 Action News intern Victoria Jones is in DeKalb County with what could be done to utilize and transform this property.
I'm here at the old Atlanta prison farm where, as you can see, there is a huge pile of tires right behind me. And if you come with me over here, you can see that there are hundreds of tires in this building. Residents say that this is a fire hazard and a danger to the community.
Tons of tires, hundreds of them, thousands of them all around you.
Scott Peterson, a DeKalb County resident, showed us how the property is being used as a dumping ground. Peterson informed us that the black spots on the ground are sending toxic fumes into the community.
We've had fires in the old buildings, which are not secured. We've had fires at other parts of the grounds, burning other kinds of toxic materials.
The prison farm was closed in the 1960s but was used to hold chain gangs. The old Atlanta prison farm is located on Key Road just off of Moreland Avenue in unincorporated DeKalb County. But according to DeKalb County property tax records, the old Atlanta prison farm is owned by the city of Atlanta.
DeKalb County says it's Atlanta problem. Atlanta says it's DeKalb County's problem.
I think that because it's an unincorporated DeKalb County, it's easy to be out of sight, out of mind.
According to residents, the city sent out a cleaning crew on Friday, but the area remains as a dumping ground because the city did not secure the property.
They tried to secure it with just a mound of earth. There's no padlock, there's no fencing.
Atlanta City Council Kwanzaa Hall gave us specific details that need to be taken place in order to solve this problem.
So number one, the easy things is to keep it safe and sound. So putting a gate up so that people aren't just kind of riding down there, turning it into a party place.
Residents refer to Chastain Park, a former prison yard, as an example of what this property could be used for. In DeKalb County, I'm Victoria Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
An unusual neighbor is out of a North Fulton County neighborhood. Watch as an expert rescues an exotic boa constrictor from a neighborhood near North Lake Mall in Alpharetta. A woman believes a neighbor left the snake after moving out. She posted a picture on Facebook asking if the snake was dangerous. Experts say it's not dangerous to humans, but shouldn't be in the neighborhood.
If a dog, a smaller dog, were to come up on him, he would not be able to eat it, but he certainly would be able to give it a run for its money, and he could possibly kill it. Or
the expert says if you encounter a snake, the best and safest thing to do is walk away.
Neighbors say their new subdivision is plagued with plumbing problems. The warning homeowners say they never got.
Plus, a man killed boating on a lake. The tragic run-in with Mother Nature that should serve as a wake-up call to anyone out on the water during the summer months.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, I'm Molly Fritz.
And I'm Victoria Jones. Cobb County Police shot and killed a veteran who held 2 hostages at a Wells Fargo bank in Marietta.
Channel 2 Action News intern Cody Thomas spoke with the robber's brother-in-law, who was shocked at the situation.
The Cobb County community is still shaken up by the events that took place here at this Wells Fargo last Friday, where a U.S. Marine veteran was shot and killed by police after attempting to rob the bank.
Oh, that's my brother, man. You know, he was a very great guy.
That was Antonio Damon's brother-in-law of Brian Easley, the man who robbed this Wells Fargo bank on Windy Hill Road in Marietta last Friday. Easley made it known that he did not want to harm anyone or even want the bank's money. He was simply upset that the VA had cut his military benefits by approximately $1,000.
Oh, man, Brian would never hurt a fly. You know, he wasn't that type of guy.
Easley did hold 2 hostages, but let them go unharmed after hours of negotiation with police. However, police shot and killed him soon after this. Damons argues that there were other alternatives that could have been taken to spare Easley's life.
So they shot him 10 times. Why? Why they couldn't tase him or shoot him with some gas or something? But he ain't had to go out like that.
Unfortunately, Brian Easley leaves behind a 9-year-old daughter who's described as a sweet, quiet girl. And despite all of the things that have happened, Damon still sticks beside the fact that his brother-in-law was a good man.
Brian was good, man. You know, we all had issues and problems, but Brian, he was good.
Cobb County Police Department was prepared, but hopes to never deal with a situation like this again. From Cobb County, Cody Thomas, Channel 2 Action News.
Investigators say lightning is to blame for the death of a boater on a lake on the Georgia-Alabama line. The coroner says 34-year-old Toby Bureau died from a direct lightning strike on Lake Harding in Hamilton Friday. A witness who lives on the Georgia side of the lake says this should serve as a warning of lightning dangers.
I hope that boaters and people who are swimming in lakes are aware of lightning strikes and how dangerous they really are.
He says the boat appeared to be trying to get out of the storm. Severe weather included a possible tornado damaged homes along Maryland's eastern shore this morning. You can see the destruction on Kent Island, split trees, leveled homes, damaged cars, and downed power lines. Storms also knocked out power to at least 8,000 people.
Today, state leaders met to speak about a controversial video that shows a DeKalb County police officer hitting a woman with a baton. Channel 2 Action News intern Kyndall McCain is in downtown Atlanta with more on what they are demanding.
When there are instances that clearly show that something has gone terribly wrong, we must stand up and loudly say that is unacceptable. That must not be allowed to happen.
This comment is in response to this video captured by a customer at a Chevron gas station on Glenwood Road in DeKalb County. It shows a police officer beating a 38-year-old mentally challenged woman. Prior to the beating, the woman had been begging for money outside the store. These state leaders claim this video is a clear display of abuse.
I just came out of a news conference in this building where state lawmakers demanded the firing of an officer recently involved in a use of force incident.
Today, I and the community are calling for Officer Lashard to be immediately terminated.
Officer P.J. Lashard was cleared by supervisors after the incident, but the case was reopened after a witness posted this video on YouTube. The officer remains on restricted duty while the GBI investigates. We spoke to McCrary's estranged husband who agreed with these state leaders.
Stand up, say something, and unless we speak out, we ain't heard.
McCrary's attorney says right now she is receiving medical attention for her mental condition. Kyndall McCain, downtown Atlanta, Channel 2 Action News.
All lanes of I-285 are back open after a serious crash involving a gas tanker. It happened Sunday on closed I-285 southbound near Glenwood Road in Decatur. Emergency workers closed road for hours to clean up the mess. Crews had to take all the fuel from the tanker before moving it and getting traffic going again.
This is a busy summer in the Port of Savannah. Last month broke records. The Georgia Ports Authority says more than 300,000 20-foot containers came through Savannah in June. That capped a record of nearly 33.5 million tons of cargo moving through the port for the year. The port just got the green light to spend $72 million on more cranes to load and unload cargo. The world's oldest commission warship is now back at home in the waters of Boston. The USS Constitution returned to the water late Sunday after 2 years in dry dock. The ship, also called Old Ironsides, underwent massive restorations. The wooden ship was originally launched in 1797 and earned its famous nickname after victories in the War of 1812.
A Clayton County man blames a TSA agent for spilling his father's ashes from this amulet he wore around his neck. Channel 2's Action News intern Abbey Dodge is outside of Hartsfield International Jackson Airport with how he says TSA damaged the family keepsake while he was going through security.
This man gave us pages and pages of documents of correspondence he's had with TSA. He says at the very least he would like an apology and to be reimbursed for his amulet.
I still want the apology.
Troy Bland travels a lot and has never had any problems getting through security. But on April 28th, Bland says his personal piece of jewelry was tampered with.
And he has my dad's amulet in his hands, and the cap is off. And I said, "What are you doing?"
Bland had the amulet made in remembrance of his father, who served as a Marine, just like Bland. He says a TSA agent spilled his father's ashes that were inside the amulet.
he opened the vial, looked in it, and went like that.
TSA officials say they have reviewed the incident twice and have determined that the agent did not spill the ashes.
Say sorry. And then make it back again.
Bland says he leaves Monday to refill the amulet and thinks TSA should pay for his trip. TSA says they've reviewed the security video twice and they haven't found that the ashes were dumped. At Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, Abbey Dodge, Channel 2 Action News.
A sanitation worker who lost both of his legs when a distracted driver hit him is now defying the odds by walking again. Horace Walker spent months in rehab at the Shepherd Center after the 2015 incident. We were there today for the emotional reunion between Walker and the Cobb County firefighters and EMT workers who helped save his life.
They was there to save my life. Now I'm here to spend my life with my family, thanks to these guys.
The driver who hit Walker pleaded guilty to several misdemeanors.
Dogs rescued from a sweltering hot car. We have new information about their recovery.
Plus, a controversial local bar could learn its fate this week. The move that could force it to close and why the owner says she's being unfairly targeted.
Local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, I'm Abbey Dodge.
And I'm Cody Thomas. The Putnam County inmates who escaped and murdered 2 correctional officers and a transport bus weren't the only ones on board.
Channel 2 Action News intern Molly Fritz is in Cobb County with the attorney who's speaking for others who were on that bus.
I'm standing outside of the office building of the attorney who is now representing 4 inmates who are on the same bus of the 2 inmates who escaped and are being charged for murder for 2 correctional officers in Putnam County.
They wanted off the bus. The door was not opened, and he was shot.
Attorney Theodore Salter is referencing the bus driver, Sergeant Curtis Blue, telling us he was heroic in his actions.
His family has nothing to be ashamed of.
While Salter is investigating what exactly happened on the bus June 13th, he is concentrating on 4 inmates who are still in questioning when they should be in transitional facilities.
These inmates that were on that bus, my clients, are still in lockdown, if you would, a form of solitary confinement. They want to be transferred to where they were going. In part because several of them are very close to ending their sentence.
Salter says that even though these 2 are possible witnesses, this label isn't a condition for lockdown.
I mean, there are people sitting there on concrete slabs that got children. They want to go see their kids. They want their kids to be able to come and see them.
We asked Salter if he believes there's potential for emotional trauma.
I find it very hard to believe that you could go through that and not have serious emotional trauma.
Authorities captured Dubose and Rowe in mid-June in Tennessee, and now they are potentially facing the death penalty. Reporting from Cobb County, Molly Fritz, Channel 2 Action News.
Many homeowners in a DeKalb County subdivision may have water streaming through broken pipes. An engineer we spoke to says a fixture called a vacuum breaker is causing the problem. He says it prevents water from backing up in the pipe. Homeowners say the developer, D.R. Horton, failed to warn them about the problem.
I think the builder needs to come out and correct the problem because it's not our fault. It's not our fault. He needs to come out and correct it. No charge.
D.R. Horton says the county requires the fixtures. They say residents have to drain them for winter. New developments in a case of a Gwinnett County teenager who lost his legs when a train hit him. He's now suing the railroad. We told you about the incident just after it happened in Lilburn in March. His mother said Jacob Ohl was walking on the tracks when he was hit. His lawsuit says CXX didn't put up fencing to keep people off the tracks, and the train didn't have equipment that would have allowed the engineer to see and avoid hitting Ohl. CSX has declined to comment on the lawsuit.
DeKalb County Sheriff is back at work after a 40-day suspension ordered by the governor. Sheriff Jeff Mann was arrested for performing a sex act and exposing his private parts in Piedmont Park and then running after an officer. Mann is scheduled for court on Thursday for the charges. The sheriff declined an interview about his return to work, citing the ongoing case. This week, a local bar owner could learn if it was if it has to shut down. Police in Noonan arrested more than 24 people during a raid at Hoops Bar and Grill last month. The owner had to appear at a business and alcohol license hearing last week. She told us there's no reason police should target her business.
I don't feel like I have done anything wrong. I always abide by the law, and I don't tolerate anything that's against the law here.
Last month, the sheriff told us deputies found drugs after executing a search warrant at the bar.
Funds from a gas sales tax will go towards new commercial vehicle lanes south of Atlanta. Channel 2 Action News investigative intern Ashley Graham has the breakdown of how the lanes will work and what this could mean for Georgia drivers.
The Georgia Department of Transportation will spend over $2 billion on commercial vehicle lanes for a portion of I-75 North. The lanes will cover a 40-mile stretch between Macon and McDonough, south of Atlanta.
So anything we can do to move traffic and freight flow more freely does improve their commutes. It improves the quality of life in terms of just making it a little less stressful for everybody.
The commercial lanes will be funded by a gas sales tax and not restricted to commercial drivers. Critics have called this into question, but the Georgia Department of Transportation says that this will benefit all drivers, both on and off the highways.
This is as much about freeing up capacity for general purpose vehicles as it is about commercial vehicles.
Georgia Motor Trucking Association President Ed Kroll says the added lanes will decrease congestion on the highway and open up new opportunities for inland ports. If the lanes don't do enough to cut down on traffic, Kroll says there is a solution.
If it doesn't work out the way the DOT thinks it's going to work out and it's not to everyone's benefit, these roads can be changed to some other use just by changing the signage.
Drivers that we spoke to liked the plans for the new lanes.
It's something that I've often thought when I was driving the interstates, man, I wish these trucks had their own lane.
I think it'll be an easier flow because you don't have to worry about trucks in the middle lane slowing down, other cars and stuff.
Critics at the Public Interest Research Group called the project a boondoggle, saying that the plan undermines rail efforts to get freight and trucks off the road.
This is a great example of why the Georgia Department of Transportation needs a better process for selecting projects for funding.
Cambridge Systematics says the lanes will reduce congestion by 40% once they're built.
And this is one of those roads that will pay for itself.
The drivers we asked said that any strategy is a step in the right direction.
Anything can help. It can't get any worse than what it is already.
The state is set to build the lanes by 2030. Ashley Graham, Channel 2 Action News.
People in Cobb County have one more chance to voice their opinions about higher property tax rates. The county will hold a third and final town hall about rate increases tomorrow. The county commission chairman says the extra money will go towards adding new parkland. Tomorrow's meeting is at 7 p.m. at the government building in Marietta. The board is expected to adopt the new rate at that meeting.
A cat is barely alive and 2 dogs are recovering. Police say their owners left the pets in a hot car while they shopped. Brianna Bennett and Samuel Boyd are charged with animal cruelty. This is police body cam video of the rescue outside of the Walmart on Pleasant Hill Road Saturday. Officers say the temperature in the car reached 111 degrees.
Police had plenty to worry about at Centennial Olympic Park this 4th of July, but they hoped planning ahead would make for a better holiday for everyone. Channel 2 Action News intern Kristen Rary has the security measures they took.
By tomorrow evening, this park will be filled with tens of thousands of people, and security is already prepping for their arrival.
These barricades are just one small part of the Georgia World Congress Center police plan to keep people safe on the 4th.
We're always concerned, and we always want to be prepared, and I feel that we have done that.
Chief Paul Garucci headed up the massive effort to protect the tens of thousands of people who'll show up at Centennial Olympic Park for the Georgia Salutes America fireworks.
We will be using police cars, large police cars, to block streets where we feel that a threat may occur or a possible incident could occur.
A new tactic this year, pushing back perimeters after a rash of recent terrorist attacks in Europe that used vehicles as weapons.
Very paranoid about, anybody that's dangerous, trying to think of any schemes coming up around here.
Antoinette Turner is still nervous, but for security analyst Brent Brown,
well, in my business, I think the fears are always justified. What we ask is that you don't let that rule your day or ruin your day.
While police keep plans secret, Brown told us it's likely police will combine high-tech surveillance as well as officers throughout the park to keep a close eye on the crowds. Brown says the public has a critical part to play as well.
Keep your ears open, your eyes open, and watch for anything. If it doesn't feel right, get out of that situation.
And while security will be covering this event, it is important that those in attendance be on the lookout for potential threats as well.
Kristen Rary, Channel 2 Action News.
I'm Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Dalton Mullinax here in Severe Weather Center 2. We do have a few lingering showers. One of those showers is up here in Lumpkin County. This shower right here is diminishing as it loses that daytime heating up here north of Dahlonega. But as we look out of our HD tower cam, well, as the sky is set on at Metro Atlanta area, we are still at 77 degrees and that humidity is up to 71%. Winds, well, they're calm right now and we have not recorded any rainfall, but that will change tomorrow. Starting here at 7 a.m. Thursday morning, we do have partly cloudy skies, and as those skies continue to fill throughout the day, those showers will begin to form. Now, the more widespread rain will begin in the afternoon, mainly in the northeastern sections of Georgia. As we move throughout the day, though, we see that the showers continue to move off to our south and east as they move through the Metro Atlanta area during rush hour time. So, as we move throughout the day tomorrow, our overnight low here in Atlanta in the city, 74. Up in Blairsville, you're a cool spot at 67 degrees. As for those highs tomorrow, it won't be as hot as it was today, though. Here in the Metro Atlanta area, we'll be at 90 degrees. Our warm spots are down to our south and southeast in Athens, Eatonton, and LaGrange. We're just a little bit higher than the average temperature for this time of year. Our bigger rain chance, though, comes Friday. As you can see here, these showers form ahead of this cold front that will be moving in and bring a better chance for storms. Here at noon, we see that those showers have begun to move into the North Georgia area. We will have partly to mostly cloudy skies here for most of the day on Friday. So that'll keep those temperatures down just a little bit. But we do have a lot more coverage as we move throughout the day, though, on Friday. If we see here, that cold front begins to drape down from the Ohio Valley, and we will have a few lingering showers. Now, this system can bring a few severe storms. So here in the Metro Atlanta area, we're at a higher risk. So overnight tonight, though, I'm forecasting a low of 74 in town. Isolated shower is possible with partly cloudy skies. As for tomorrow, though, well, we're going to be a little bit cooler than we were today. I'm forecasting a high of 90 degrees with partly cloudy skies and afternoon thunderstorms. As for that 5-day forecast goes, we can see that on Thursday, we'll have a high of 90 and a low of 74 with a 30% chance of rain. On Friday, I'm going to go ahead and ramp that rain chance up to 60%. We'll have a high a little bit cooler and round average of 89 degrees with a low of 75. Here at Channel 2, your weekend is always in view. On Saturday, we have a high of 88 with partly cloudy skies. But Sunday is looking like another good day as we have a high of 85. And beginning that work week this week, well, we'll have a high of 86. And after that, we'll see you later tonight on Channel 2 Action News.
Georgia could be in for a rare sight, the best place you can go to catch a glimpse of the solar eclipse.
Plus, an emergency landing along a local highway, the pilot tells us what was going through his head when he realized he had to take the plane down.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Rary.
I'm Maddy Bierster. Warrants reveal a mother who was charged in her baby's hot car death. Searched for symptoms of seizures on the internet before she called 911.
Channel 2 Action News intern Breana Albizu is in DeKalb County, where police say the mother left the child in the car while she went inside a salon for a hair appointment.
According to warrants, surveillance shows that the mother entered the salon at 10 a.m. and by 4 p.m. she noticed that both her baby and her car were dead.
She's gonna have to live with that for the rest of her life, that her child died in the car.
Weeks of investigating and searching for Dejanelle Fowler led to the 25-year-old's surrender Monday night in her baby's hot car death.
They shouldn't leave kids in the car at all. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, because it's dangerous.
Court documents reveal Fowler left her car running during a 6-hour hair appointment in the Sucker Salon on June 15th. When she came out, the car and her baby Skylar, seen here in Fowler's Facebook profile picture, were dead. Instead of calling 911,
she received a jump or a boost before leaving the hair salon.
But warrants reveal the man who helped her was unlikely to see the child's body in the back seat because there were lots of clothes to cover her. Fowler left after her car got a jump.
So she rode around with her dead child for hours?
We believe so.
While Fowler drove around with Skylar's body, Warrens revealed she sent a text to the child's godfather and said she was headed to urgent care for a headache. Documents go on to say she Googled seizure symptoms before parking in this Emory hospital deck later that afternoon. That's where she finally called 911 saying she was having a seizure. Fowler was hospitalized and released, but never offered an explanation for her dead baby.
I'm a father. I have 4 children, so it hits home. But, you know, we have to remain professional and do the best job that we can to investigate the case properly.
Fowler is facing several charges, including second-degree murder. Her hearing is set for later this evening. Live in DeKalb County, Breana Albizu, Channel 2, Action News.
Developing now, detectives are going door to door at a DeKalb County apartment complex in search of witnesses who saw a deadly shooting. We were in Stone Mountain last night as crime techs processed the scene along Hambrick Road. Investigators say someone shot a 22-year-old man inside of a car. Detectives are now working to learn whether the victim lived in the complex.
Take a look at these pictures of smoke coming from a Gwinnett County home after lightning hit it and sparked a fire. This was the scene along Finsbury Park Court near Swanee Saturday. Firefighters contained the flames to an attic, but there is smoke damage throughout the home. No one was hurt.
A plane is out of the way after an emergency landing on a Gwinnett County highway. The pilot said God helped him survive. Take a look. The plane landed on Highway 316 near Harbins Road this afternoon. It is made to look like a German World War II aircraft. The pilot told us everything was going well when the engine suddenly shut off. He said that's when his training kicked in.
Obviously, I have 316 here, and if I can make it back to the airport, great. So I was able to adjust my speed to flow into the flow of the traffic. And it made a very nice landing, and here I am.
The FAA is currently investigating what caused the engine malfunction.
The murder of 2 state corrections officers in Putnam County during an escape has put prisoner transport in the spotlight. Channel 2 News intern Lauren Frederick has a look at how another local sheriff's office moves inmates from the jail to the courthouse.
70 miles away from Putnam County, where authorities accused 2 inmates of recently killing 2 state corrections officers, is the Fulton County jail system, where we got an inside look of how inmates are transported here.
Let's roll. That happens every single day. Safety is key. We have to ensure that the inmates are safe, my officers are safe.
I'm watching every move they make.
Go ahead, ladies.
To making sure the officers' backs are covered.
The inmates are secured with leg irons and waist chains.
The Fulton County Sheriff's Convoy transports 70 to 140 inmates per day. But taking into account of the incident with the now captured inmates that killed 2 state corrections officers and escaped, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office believes in staying on their P's and Q's.
We have a briefing every morning. We plan routes, we plan what we're going to do, exigent circumstances. In light of what happened in Putnam County, we had already put procedures in place prior to that, which was starting our K-9s to going to court and from court.
And at the end of the day, after each safe transport is made,
I feel good knowing that we're all going home safely.
And get prepared to do it all again the next day. According to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, we are the first news station ever to get an inside look and experience their inmate transportation. In downtown Atlanta, Lauren Frederick, Channel 2 Action News.
Leaders in DeKalb County are set to vote on a proposed shop, work, and play building today. Developers are looking to build the Rise at the corner of Hugh Howell Road and Mountain Industrial Boulevard in Tucker. Here's a drawing of what the project could look like. It's similar to the popular Ponce City Market in Atlanta. It would feature a grocery store, office spaces, and a multifamily units.
New at 11, we now know the name of a local man who drowned at Myrtle Beach over the weekend. Myrtle Beach police say 35-year-old Ray Garcia was knocked over by a wave Saturday and died. His family created a You Caring memorial page and posted these pictures. Garcia was from Gainesville. The family says he leaves behind a wife and 2 daughters.
Police have made an arrest connected to the fires that were set over the past couple days in a Forsyth County community. Channel 2's Action News' Alan Devlin spoke with relieved residents.
One car and 2 buildings all set on fire in the same community in 7 days. And now, convinced that this wasn't a mistake, residents are shaken up, but glad this is finally over.
Somebody's running around at midnight setting fires and you don't feel safe in your home.
That's the reality the residents of the Springmont neighborhood in Forsyth County have been living in for the last week, as both their clubhouse and tennis pavilion went up in flames. It all began when the neighborhood clubhouse caught fire shortly after midnight on July 5th.
A lot of people thought it was fireworks.
The assumption was that the building went up due to an accident.
Is it wiring? Is it fireworks? Oh, that's too bad.
But then a few days later, shortly after midnight on July 7th, the second fire, the pavilion right behind the clubhouse, shook the neighborhood, and it wasn't looking like an accident anymore.
Everybody got nervous. Everybody got scared. Everybody started thinking this is intentional.
No one was wanting to really walk around at night.
Finally, a third fire, this time a vehicle in a neighborhood directly adjacent to Springmont, led to the capturing of the culprit behind the arsons. 38-year-old Payush Kumar Mystery, a resident of Springmont, was arrested Thursday morning shortly after setting the third fire. Authorities pulled him over because of an expired tag and noticed fire-starting materials in his car. That, along with other materials found in his house linking him to all 3 arsons, led authorities to believe they had found their man. As for the residents, they're just glad that the mystery is solved.
That is just crazy. I had no idea that something like that could actually happen in my neighborhood.
The suspect is being charged with 3 counts of arson and is currently being held with no bond. In Forsyth County, Alan Devlin, Channel 2 Action News.
We're about a month away until daylight turns to dusk during a solar eclipse. The moon will pass directly between the Earth and the Sun on August 21st. The path of totality is a 70-mile wide sliver from Oregon to South Carolina. That includes Northeast Georgia, Blue Ridge, Blairsville, and Helen.
Yeah, so if you're fortunate enough to be in the path of totality on the 21st, you'll see the moon obscure the sun, and again, for that brief period of time, it will completely block out the solar disk.
Outside that area, like here in Metro Atlanta, you'll see a partial eclipse. You can learn more about the total solar eclipse on our website. Visit our homepage at WSB-TV.com for an interactive map from NASA. Plus, you can see a list of places you can go to get free eclipse glasses.
Don't miss Alumni Homecoming Weekend, August 4th through the 6th. See your favorite Braves alumni all weekend long. Visit Braves.com/alumni today.
24 hours a day for the next 31 days, construction workers will be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, making sure this $1.5 million gym will be polished up and ready to go for the Falcons exhibition game on August 26th. I was out there this afternoon where officials from the stadium and its 2 tenants, the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta United, gave a tour. The Falcons locker room is massive and players had plenty of input, suggesting they use more smaller shelves and have plenty of outlets to charge their electronics. United has a separate locker room with their own designs and configurations. For example, their head coach office will have a mini pub where he can enjoy a tasty beverage after a win. And no chairs for the players, United selecting to go with a very European locker room feel.
We're pretty excited about the whole facilities we've got here because not only have we got this changing room, but some of the facilities like the hydrotherapy pool that we've got. So we went for the benches rather than the chairs you traditionally see in perhaps an American football locker room. So we wanted to do that, but we also knew that we had to make it comfortable. So Carlos Bocanegra, technical director, former player, he's quite picky. So we tested it out with him. So you got the option, lean up against it, you can lean forwards. But this gave us that look and feel of a changing room.
I read really fast. Falcons general manager Thomas Dimitroff told us first-round pick Tack McKinley will be limited at the start of training camp following shoulder surgery and probably won't see meaningful action until the 3rd or 4th preseason game.
And I think our big focus is to make sure that, hopefully we have him ready for some of the, maybe game 3 and 4. He's a resilient guy and he's a driven guy, as we know. So all indications are that he's definitely on the front end of the curve as far as his healing.
Hawks forward Mike Muscala finally put pen to paper and signed his 2-year, $10 million deal to return to the Hawks. He's just one of 6 players on last year's roster to return, but he told us earlier today there is no other place he'd rather be.
Really excited to be back to Atlanta. This is obviously where I started and where my fiance is from, so I'm just excited to get to work and just to take it game by game and compete every game.
Coming up tonight, I'll have Dan Quinn, who talks to us about the Falcons' upcoming season.
Dashcam video shows a driver speeding away after police found him asleep at the wheel. What officers found inside the vehicle.
Plus, a local woman wrangled this snake wrapped around a fence. Why she says neighbors should not be concerned about seeing more of them.